I wanted to answer the question about the state of BlackBerry here in 2025. And I do have various BlackBerries here from BlackBerry 10 OS and also what's the Android ones. So I do have the BlackBerry Priv and I do have the Key One here from Verizon that I will show you. And after that, I'm going to get to the question is why doesn't Do Not Disturb work properly on my Pixel anymore like my previous Pixel? Well, then I have questions for you right there. And you know what? Since you've been waiting for an answer on that, let's find out together, shall we? But yeah, I will highlight Unplugs OS because de-googled this. This is the Pixel 4, which is running Calyx OS. And this is my favorite Android of all time, the HTC One M8 running Lineage, and I believe it's Android 12. So I will be highlighting this. So again, for those of you on Rumble, if you chime in on the live, I'll be able to see it. It's just that I have like 4 screens that I'm looking at right now. Yes, this is a one-man show, and believe it or not, AI helps me with that too. I'm gonna be devoting an episode to AI, and the guest that I have invited, he hasn't accepted yet, but I will follow up with him. Any of you are familiar with Gab and what you're doing with AI? That's enough of a hint. But let's see. Okay, so your question is why doesn't Do Not Disturb work properly on my Pixel anymore in my previous Pixel? Okay, so I have questions about that. First, which Pixel are you using? Second, what OS are you running? So while you're answering that, I'm getting geared up to present a few things here. All right, so this right here is the BlackBerry Classic. This is my first BlackBerry 10 device. I actually had to hunt down the white version. This is the Z10, or as the neighbors to the north say, the Z10. Now this one, despite running a slightly less of a build for BlackBerry OS compared to its other devices here, even though I use the same autoloader, I didn't use it for this one. This one actually ran the Google Play Store the best compared to all of them, despite being one of the weaker devices. This is the Z30 AMOLED display. I think I turned on this phone. Did I turn on this phone? I don't. Oh, it's still around. Cool. All right. So there are some Android apps that are running there. I had to charge up some of these because they've been sitting there for a while. This is the creme de la creme. The ones. This device is what helped propel my show in the first place, my YouTube channel, the silver edition of the BlackBerry Passport, and that's a beast of a device. I absolutely love that one. And the ones that are a little bit more out of frame, I'll just bring down here. This is the oh my goodness, the Q10. That's right. I was gonna say the Z30, but it's not. That's the Z30. So there's the Q10, and the one that look, one of my most searched videos even this year and my most watched remains me showing off running WhatsApp on, yes, this is the Porsche Design P9980, what is it? 83. The P9981, I believe was the Z10, but repackaged as a Porsche. And well, there was an 81 and an 82. 81 might have been actually the Bold that was turned into this. So that was running legacy BlackBerry OS, and then the Z version of it, the Z10. I did have that for a time, but it didn't work on Verizon, so I didn't keep it. But this is the Porsche design version of the Q10, and believe me, it's an awesome device. I still turn it on every now and then, and because of the media controls on the side and the headphone jack at the top, and the 64 gigabytes of built-in storage and the super long-lasting battery, I absolutely love this thing. I actually have the box and the crocodile supposed cases of it. It feels like regular leather to me. A fellow YouTuber of mine did a video a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, on side loading applications or sideloading Android apps to BlackBerry and how to do it. I have not seen the entirety of the video, but there are ways that you technically can do it. It's important to note, though, the Android version that the BlackBerries are running. So let me pull up the settings. So I'm waiting for Android runtime to kind of wake up here. And I have a particular app that I got from Cobalt. I can't remember. I still remember the dude's name. Cobalt is the one who created the patched version of the Play Store for for BlackBerry 10. Okay. I think eventually, because of copyright, he was forced to take it down. Not before I got my hands on it. So I'm hitting about phone. All right. So now I'm looking at the the status on this. So let me bring it over here. Okay, let me see. I think I can zoom this a little more. You guys can see. There we go. Z10 Android version 4.3. See that? Okay. That's not even KitKat. The problem that we run into is that the Android App Store was primarily the way to be able to get Android apps natively here. Now I think I have F-Droid on this guy. Let me see. Do I have media? Where are my apps? Oh, here we go. So this is, I want you to see what I had on this phone. All right, I'm gonna zoom in again, okay? Because this one actually requires for you to see. So I had the Android App Store, F-Droid, and G-Droid. Okay, let's see if F-Droid will load. I am not holding my breath. Okay, good. It did load. So do I have any updates? Let's see. There's an update right here. There's an update for F-Droid. Good. So let's find out. So while that's loading, the problem that I've run into, and I knew it was going to happen eventually, is that a lot of Android apps, and you've probably seen this yourself with some of your favorite apps, they would push out an update and then you'll get a notification that says end of support for Android version blah blah blah. So there is an Android that if it's running an older operating system, that app will no longer work. All right, so now this should have been done downloading. So let's see what's taking a little bit. Okay, what's going on? Where's the update? Okay, if this works, this will be awesome. Did you install? Is that what you're saying? All right, let's see if this one installed. Nope, there it is. It's telling me I need to update the app. Okay, so that's a problem that I ran into. So now if I hunt for an app here on F-Droid, let's say, oh my goodness, a podcatcher, podcasts. There's one that I tested here for my show. Antenna Pod. That's the one. But not just that. I want you to see the entirety of the list. Okay, so here we go. Incompatible. Yeah, you can hunt for apps. You just can't use them. So that's the downside. The upside to using something like the Amazon App Store was that it actually only showed you the apps that would work. So you don't have to be searching for apps and then realize that, ah, crap, I can't install them. That's primarily the reason I have not been able to install the updates on this phone. So here, yeah, here it is. Okay, let me show you this without compromising some information. Okay, all right, see that? F-Droid install failed. It's not pushing the update because it's not compatible with Android 4.3 anymore. F-Droid was one of the best ways to sideload applications. From F-Droid, you can install something like Aurora Store. It doesn't work on any of these BlackBerries, so I'm not even going to try. Here's another thing that upsets me is that you can sideload apps to the phone from your computer. But I found it that it's just makes it easier for me if I use a media card. Okay, so like an SD card, a micro SD card. So on the back, when you remove the cover, no, not a removable battery, but a removable cover. Oh, this side. Put an SD card right there. And the problem that I run into is that I get this error. It says, media card problem. Go to storage settings for details. So it needs to download and update so it can properly read the SD card. But those are the BlackBerry servers. They've been turned off. So it won't install. So here are the error codes right here. Media card problem, and then I try to install, and then it gives me the error. It won't work. So I have not been able to do anything with these BlackBerries except if I have older apps, then great. So the only way that I've been able to actually sideload and install apps, and this is why I have to use a memory card because I have to scan them too, you know. First, it takes like 10 minutes to sideload an app in the first place because the update machine is so slow. Let me see if this will work. This will probably not load, but I'll try anyway. Amazon App Store. Um, okay, so this it looks like it's the first time I'm opening it here. I'm gonna do that on the Z the passport actually. So let me get to that one. Okay, so let me move that out of the way. Let me bring this to the front because why not? It's right here. Okay, finish setting up your apps. I don't think it comes preloaded because I just did a an auto loader on the BlackBerry Passport just to wipe everything and start afresh. So it's not there. That means I have to download it. Okay. So for those of you following along, if you're chiming in on the live chat, I will only be taking comments from YouTube, Rumble, and X. Okay, so if you're watching on Rumble, thank you very much, by the way. Then you're welcome to chime in. After I do this part, I will go to show you the apps you can install, but not on the Blackberries. But moving on from BlackBerry to the Google devices. So the Amazon App Store is here. It's right there. I forgot it's the old logo. That's important because that means it needs to update. So let me tap on that and I'll hit accept. So now we're waiting for everything to load. So if you're not aware, and I'm going to pull this up and then share it after this fails because it will fail. Amazon App Store. Okay. So this is the old version. And let me see. Can I continue? I can continue. I don't know if it's going to tell me to sign in. Yeah, it's telling me to sign in. Okay. Conditions of use. Let me go to the latest version of this. So let me share this with you guys all while I'm trying to do this part. Amazon App Store. So frequently asked questions. Let me open another tab real quick just in case. Yeah, so me. All right. Okay, share this tab. All right, I did cover this last week as well. Starting August 2025, you will no longer have access to the Amazon App Store on your Android device. That includes Blackberries, by the way. We will also be discontinuing Amazon Coins program on August 20, 2025. As of April 20, 2025, Amazon Coins are no longer available for purchase. Now, supposedly, the store will continue to live on for the Fire tablets because it's their own thing. But for everything else, your SOL. The reason this is important is because that's the only way you can actually use Android apps on a BlackBerry, which is very similar to how the Google devices work, because you need app services, like in this case, Amazon app services, or how you need Google Play services. It's the same principle, and you need it to run the apps. For example, I was able to install Dropbox from the Amazon App Store, but as soon as I deleted the Amazon App Store, it said Dropbox cannot authenticate. Please install Amazon App Services. That's the first time I even knew that existed. I'm like, huh, fascinating. So I'm going to try to do it from this thing. And if you guys were not aware, this is the announcement that Amazon made a few months ago. And let me see, it's this one. It should be this one. So I'm doing the Z30 right now to see what's going to show up. Let me see. Amazon App Store download. Okay, it's supposed to look like this. All right, so let me stop sharing this for now. All right, so that's how the Amazon App Store is supposed to look, and that is from the Z30. Okay. I don't know if it asks me to log in, but here on the, let me zoom this in again. Hit the wrong button there. Okay. By the way, the fastest way to use a BlackBerry 10 still is the BlackBerry Passport. It's just that you can't really do much with a lot of these things. Okay. All right, so technically it's still allowing me, but after I log in, it's gonna say that your device is no longer supported. You're running an older version of Android. Please update your device. So while you technically can try to access your old apps, it's not going to work. Okay, so you can get to the login screen like I did, but unfortunately my Z10 is out of battery, so I can't show you because the battery sucked on that thing. It still does, I can't show you the error. But here it is. It's Bing. I forgot that it's Bing. It's not letting me load the App Store. So let me see. Amazon App Store. Let me try that again. And this just tells you it's frustrating to use it. Okay, so in for those of us here in the United States, this does not really apply for those of you that are out of the country. Some of you might still find a way to be able to use these things. Let me see, was it ABK Gold? All right. Yeah, so while that's uploading in the background, I have another tab that I'm going to show you. Is it finally loading? Freaking name, man, that thing's taking forever. You can't really use them, but what you can do is either those like bring your own devices and get an active SIM. You technically can use older phones, but for devices like even these, this is an Android powered BlackBerry. This is a BlackBerry Priv, not AT&T. This was actually a scam, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But then there's this one. There's the key one. So this one is running. Let me see. This is running updated to 8.1. That's an update that I never officially got over on Verizon. I forced installed it, and I can't tell you how I did it. And I do have a video about that over on YouTube. You can check it out. A lot of you ask me, how did you get Oreo on this thing? It's like, man, I did it. I just pressed a bunch of buttons, and then I forced the auto loader on it, and then I just didn't do anything else. Like, you know what? I'm not messing with it. So I was still able to get some life out of it, and I still do. So this phone can still go the extra mile. In the case of the Priv, this one is stuck at like 6.0. So I think it's Lollipop. Was it Lollipop? I don't remember. But this one is technically a Verizon phone. It's just that someone did a bunch of Mickey Mouse business on it and tampered with it. So DTech told me that this thing is not an official BlackBerry. That's because I guess the housing was broken on the Verizon version, so they put it into an AT&T version. And well, it technically is a Verizon phone wearing an AT&T dress. It's just that I am not going to log in or sign into that. It's just that I do miss this form factor. You know, with this clicks keyboard that Kevin Mikola and Michael Fisher ended up doing, which I do have, by the way, the Finals Edition. It's a throwback to this, and I miss it. Shout out to Michael Fisher and Crackberry Kevin. You guys are the reason I do what I do. Well, so anyway, let's see if I got anywhere with this thing, dude. It just never. That's all it loaded. Oh man, it's so annoying. Didn't load anything. You can probably use it for phone calls and text. You're not going to be able to get much from the data because the BlackBerry servers are turned off, so you can't use it for email. You can't use an SD card if it doesn't read it because you can't get the update from the BlackBerry server. You can't sideload any apps from the BlackBerry app world. It's dead. And you can't use the Amazon App Store because it's sunsetted, especially for an older Android platform such as 4.3 that's running on this. So if you want to take the gamble, this is what you would do. And I don't recommend this. So, disclaimer, Andres does not recommend you do this. Ah, my goodness. I'm going to refresh this page. I'm not hitting that extension thing. Okay. APK, this is APK Gold. While technically the App Store itself does exist, let's go to, let's see if I can go home on this. All apps. One of the things that I like about this place is, and seriously, this is the Wild West. You don't know what you're getting here, and that's always the concern. These things can leach your items. But let me see. Can I do a search? Where's the search? There it is to the right. Let me search for OneNote if it'll let me. There it is. Ay, ay, ay. Should I risk it? I'll risk it. Okay, here we go. One of the things that I like about this place is that you can get different versions of it technically. And right here, this is it right here. For ARM devices of Android 9.0 and above, or you can go for older versions right here. Oh my goodness, dude. See this? So technically, if you can still find an app that's for your version, you might be able to get away with it and make it work. That's how I was able to get some of my apps to work by going for an older version, but they only keep them for so long. Look at this one. This one works on Android 4.4. Now, if this Android was updated on BlackBerry, it would be running 4.4 KitKat, which is what I wish that they did. But this one is running 4.3, so it's cut off no matter what. So even in a place like this, even they don't support that anymore. So technically, you can if you find places that still have those apps. Um, Again, disclaimer: it's at your own risk. But this is what I mean that there are ways you can try to make it work. It's just that it's just the walls are closing in. They don't want you to use these devices anymore. They want you on a device that they can track you better on. That's why. Now leave this here so we can move on to the Googled stuff. That is why these new privacy OS devices and makers are coming out of and just presenting their own stuff because they have to push back against what the big two have done. The app stores have basically killed all competition because it's either your flavor of or preference for Android, which is Samsung or Google. That's not much of a choice if you're in the United States. If you're outside of the country, now it opens up to either a Xiaomi or an Honor, which I think might be the same, Oppo, Vivo, and others. So there's more competition outside the country, but that's not to say it's all the same. I mean, it's all different. They're all running Android. It's either Android or iPhone. So gone are the days where you can pick up a device like this and be able to, use it. And the only reason it was having the ability to sideload Android apps was because the public was clamoring for it. And now we find ourselves in a situation where it's like, dude, they're taking all of my data, all of my privacy. It's like, well, yeah, you asked for it. So that's how we ended up here. And I'm almost tempted to play that clip from V for Vendetta. It's like, how did we get here? And while there's plenty of blame to go around, they'll be held accountable. If you want to know the guilty person, just look into a mirror. And is that a symbol? I can't pronounce that one. The BB passport was the best a freaking men, and it still is. So let me just get be careful when shopping on eBay, okay? This was supposed to be new, and I knew I was gonna get gypped, but at least it wasn't that expensive. It was actually really cheap. So I'm like, you know what? I took the gamble, and it was a scam, and well, I'll live with my mistake because science.